Hey, over here. Champion reader over here. Good afternoon, boys and girls. This is Miss Parker here, signing in as champion reader of the day. Today the skill we're working on is comparing and contrasting in our paired passages. So we're going to be finding similarities and differences, and we're going to teach you how to do it like that. Cue the camera on the screen, please. You'll be watching on the dot camera while I'm working my magic over here. Here we go. So I know that my two paired selections, I've read them carefully. I've found the main idea for both of them. I've used text features and my main idea to figure out that they are both expository. So already I know that fighting hunger with a kick and caring for kids is in the bag are both expository texts. That's probably going to help me find similarities and differences with these questions. So now, using my box to make sure that I'm answering the questions with the right passages, I'm going to look carefully, and it says, use fighting hunger with a kick and caring for kids is in the bag to answer questions 35 through 38. I'm going to write myself a note here that I need to compare and contrast. That means I need to find similarities and differences. So my first step in question 35 is to decide if those people who wrote this test want me to find a similarity or difference. So first thing I'm going to do is look for keywords. The authors of the two selections probably intend for the reader to learn how. Okay, so I have two selections. That's a clue that it's both. So we're talking similarities. All right, so let me set that up. When I'm comparing and contrasting, I've got a nifty two-column trick to make sure I get it right every single time. I'm going to set it up in the middle. We've got passage 1 and passage 2, and we're going to compare and contrast answer choice A, B, C, and D. Let me go ahead and label my passages so I don't get confused. Fighting hunger with a kick is passage number 1. Caring for kids is in the bag is passage number 2. Good. Next, my next step is going to be to start looking at each answer choice. Answer choice A, the two organizations selected leaders, I'm going to underline that, who could accomplish more than members expect. Okay, so I'm going to think back to both of these organizations. Who are their leaders? Well, in passage 1, our leader, as I wrote in Fighting Hunger for a Kick, is Gabe Whaley. So then I'm going to go back. I'm going to think about him. His organization isn't looking for a leader. He's already the leader. So I'm going to put an X. His organization is not, has not selected a leader who could accomplish more than members expect. They already had their leader. So that's an X. That means that this answer choice could not be right for passage 1. Let me go ahead and check for passage number 2. I remember from reading carefully that Annie started the organization, so they're not looking for a leader either. She's still the leader. I can go ahead and put an X for answer choice A. Answer choice B, food banks are involved with organizations that aid children. Well, my next step would be to go back to the passages again. I know that in Fighting Hunger with a Kick, they do use a food bank, so I'm going to put a check in that column. In Caring for Kids is in the bag, they're just donating gift bags. There's no food bank, so I'm going to go ahead and put an X. Now, remember that I'm looking for similarities, so that means that I need to have a check mark in both columns. So far, we have neither answer with both check marks. I can already cross them off. Question, answer choice C. Each organization grew out of a person's desire to help others. That looks like I need to find some text evidence. I'm going to go back to selection 1, and I'm looking to see, boom, first sentence, Gabe Whaley, a high school student, wanted to do something to help people in his hometown. I found my text evidence. I'm going to go ahead and put a check in column C. I'm sorry, for answer choice C. For column 2, I'm going to go back to Caring for Kids is in the bag. Let me see if Annie wants to help someone too. Champion reader skimming fast. So she came up with a way to help other children in such a situation. She also is helping. So I'm going to go ahead and put a check. I'm just gonna double check D, make sure it's not correct, but it looks like we're going with C. The two organizations make use of volunteers. Go back to Fighting Hunger with a Kick. I know Fighting Hunger uses volunteers to teach soccer. We're gonna put a check here. But if I go back to Caring for Kids is in the Bag, I know that they do not use volunteers. So we're gonna go back to column 2, put an X. Our best answer choice is C. To make sure that I'm correct, I'm gonna write in my text evidence for each column. We found text evidence that Gabe Willie wanted to help someone. We'll write the paragraph number, paragraph 1, and in passage 2, we know that Annie Wignall came up with a way to help other children. Boom. Feels good to be a champion reader. Let me move on to question 36. What is one way that Kicking for Hunger is different? Looking for my keywords, that's my next step. To look for keywords is different. So already I know I'm finding differences. That means that I need to find an answer choice where in column 1 for Kicking for Hunger, I have a check, and in column 2 for CareBags Foundation, I have an X. See how I've marked these here so I don't get confused with my two columns. Kicking for Hunger accepts donated items to give to communities in need. Well, yeah, they accept donated food. I'm going to put a check. I know that CareBags Foundation also accepts donated items. 2 check marks can't be my answer. Remember, I'm looking for a different option. Answer choice G. Oh, and looks like I need to double check my answer choices so I don't get confused. F, G, H, and J. I'm going to go ahead and cross these off. Kicking for Hunger focuses on meeting the needs of the children in a community. They both wanted to help other kids. We can put a check mark and a check mark. We can cross off G. Remember, we still need a check and an X. Finally, H. Kicking for Hunger needs a leader to decide how best to support a community. Kicking for Hunger needs a leader, but so does the CareBags Foundation. So that's the same. I can cross off H, which leaves me with J. Let me just double check that. Kicking for Hunger provides training. And ask them to bring canned goods to pay for the training. There we go. There's my text evidence. I know that that's true for Kicking for Hunger, but I know that the CareBags Foundation only asks people for donations. They don't get any training. They just give things to donate to kids. So that's an X. I have my check. I have my X. And boom. That's how you read like a champion.